From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Nick Beres here. Thanks for joining me on MorningLine. It's a Monday. Hope you had a good weekend, and let's get the work week off to a solid start as you start your morning. We've got a good show on tap this morning. We'll open up the phone lines and invite you to call in to get some free legal advice from our guest this morning. Yes, you're right. It's a lawyer joining us this morning with an expertise in elder law. Good morning to you, Tim.
Good morning, Nick.
Tim Takacs.
Yeah, it is a lawyer joining us for free legal advice.
We have a lot of lawyers on this show.
Yes, you do, but probably I think probably up in the top one or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top 5, I hope.
Lawyers are a wealth of information.
We are.
And you are one of the ones that have been on for a long time, and I've learned a great deal from.
I think probably 2001 or 2002 I've been coming
And I
on.
like to think as we've seen
really
your practice grow, we've been a part of it. As baby boomers have aged.
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you or not. I was, this was like, I remember this because it was like in 2002 or 2003, and I was in the airport in Nashville.
Yes.
And somebody some lady that I was like, I think I bought a cup of coffee from her or something, and she said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Takacs," and I thought that was so cool.
How do I know? It is cool.
And it was great as my mother was there.
Yeah. And that was early on.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
I'm sure you were recognized oftentimes, and part of it is you wear on the air your bow tie. But that is your uniform.
Yeah, I wear this every day.
This is your look.
Yeah, almost.
You wear
almost
bow
every
ties.
day.
Did you ever wear a standard tie?
Actually,
or
I did probably 20 years ago, maybe.
Okay, but bow tie, which is it's a great look for you, and that's a very nice one. So,
thank you.
Well, I'm glad people do recognize you, and many of them.
You look nice too.
Well, I'm wearing kind of linen today. It's a little big and baggy on me, but what the heck? It's been hot lately.
Yeah, no, I should do the linen thing.
Do you have linen?
No, I don't, but I should because that's like a really
comfortable thing in the summertime.
Yeah.
So. Well, listen, we've got, as always, the phone line up on the air there. It's 737-7587 if you want to join in the conversation. And, before we get into some of the details, I always like to let you know what our viewers, I let you tell our viewers what elder law focuses on, the types of issues you deal with for your clients.
Well, I know you mentioned, I saw, 10 minutes ago you were going through and telling me that I was saying I was on, and I talked about estate planning and and things like retirement and things you have to think about at retirement. But a lot of what we do is of course estate planning, wills and powers of attorney and trusts, and how to make sure that when someone dies everybody gets your stuff or whatever it is.
Right, to know where you want it to go.
And that's really traditional estate planning, but I often say we're really more interested in a living client. I mean, we have a lot of family members who are coming to us, and over the years that we've talked about, I've talked about your family, and and we've talked about Rory's other family members here, and a lot of it is our representations often begin because someone comes to us and they're worried about their mom, or they're worried about their dad living by themselves, or maybe it's a spouse and going, my husband has got Alzheimer's disease, and what do I do now? And from the conversations that we've had here on the show, people calling in and saying, my mother is living, she's living by herself, and and she won't move, and I'm really worried about, or I'm worried about the money going to the nursing home if she goes, all those sorts of things that that's really the stuff of what we do.
Yeah, I'm curious too. With July, I don't know, a lot of laws taking effect, and has there been anything that's changed with regard to estate planning, or that can affect what you do on the legal side of things in terms of any new laws or changes at the local or federal level?
Not really major, I would say. I mean, we could, there's some like little nitty gritty stuff, but stuff that it's our job is to keep up on, but it's not going to affect anybody's really.
Okay, I didn't know if there were radical changes you want to talk about there.
Yeah.
What about, and I know a lot of times we'll get calls, and again, the number there, if you're thinking about estate planning, wills and the like, do most people, is there a percentage that you've seen anywhere in surveys you've seen of how many people actually have wills or don't have wills? Is it pretty standard that most do, or is it
probably
half 50-50?
Probably most people don't.
Okay, I was going to say, probably not, especially when they're younger. At what age do most people start thinking about wills? Now, you would say you want to get one as soon as you have assets and children and all of that, I suppose. But
Right.
when should you get a will?
Well, for one is that all right. Now let's distinguish between a will and an estate plan, because everybody has an estate plan, even whether they know it or not, because the state has a plan for you if you haven't planned your own estate.
Oh.
Okay, so someone dies, and I've often said is that people have been dying for centuries without wills.
Right.
And for some reason, property gets us from one generation to the other. Somehow we figured all that out.
Yeah. So, but
that's
there are
because
laws
we
that
have
dictate
laws
that.
that dictate how that works. Exactly. But when you ask about what you should be looking at is that all right, if you are married, you get married. And certainly if you have children, you need to think about, well, okay, I've got now a 6-month-old child. Well, what happens if something happens to me and my husband, or me and my wife, or who's going to be the guardian for my child? Do I want to leave everything to my child, and then they they don't get it when they're 6 months old, but they'll get it when they're 18 years old. And a lot of family members, a lot of my parents will go, well, if I was 18, I wouldn't want it when I got 18. That's the last thing I think my children should get when they're, because that's the way it works.
All right.
You die, and if you have a minor child, someone has to hold the assets for that child until they're 18. When that child turns 18, says, I want my money, that my parents left me, and I'm going to go buy a big car.
Okay, right, yeah, exactly. That's what a young person might just go ahead and do. By the way, if they're not 18 yet, when, God forbid, both parents die, can you specify would it be in a will who you want the child to be cared for by?
It's called a guardian, yeah. So you name a guardian,
name who it is.
You name that person, right. Now, if you don't name a guardian, then a court's going to appoint one for the child.
Yeah,
and
so usually next of kin?
Yeah, the chances are pretty good. It might be somebody that you would want. Let's say it's your parents, or maybe you have an older brother or sister or whatever, but that's of course part of why you do an estate plan, because otherwise you let do you really want a judge to choose who's going to be a guardian for your child?
Yeah, well,
somebody's going to walk in and say, it's going to be me, judge, and then someone else says, no, I think it really ought to be me, and you don't want the judge to have to make that decision.
The judge will have to make that call,
The judge goes to make the call if you don't.
Yeah.
That's just when people don't plan. So you should do it like when that happens. And every once in a while I'll do an estate plan, for a younger person, but that's really not really what we do. Most of our clients are older clients. They've already have children. They've already have adult children. We do a lot of estate planning certainly for people who have a spouse who's disabled or incapacitated, because I always say to our clients, everybody out there is that if you have a spouse, your husband or your wife or your partner, whoever it is, becomes disabled or incapacitated, and certainly if they're elderly, or you all are an elderly couple, your estate planning needs to change.
Yeah.
Just like it's going to have to change, because here you are, you have a healthy spouse and you have a disabled or spouse with Alzheimer's disease. And I know that there's all these folks out here who are, I'll say within the sound of my voice, that are going, I worry about that. What if I pass away and my husband, where's he going to live? And do I just leave everything to the kids so that they can hold the money for my husband, because he can't, he's disabled, he has Alzheimer's disease, or all those sorts of things. What do you do? And those are the kind of things that that's the stuff of what we do every day.
That's where we need, because I'm candidly saying, and I've talked about it with my folks, they're getting older and getting up there, and it's kind of scary, and I don't know where to start. That's where someone like you can be such a big help, and that day will probably come for me with you and I. So listen, we'll take a break. When we come back, the number is 737-7587. We've laid out some of what's there for you. The show picks up as we get later into the show, as people get rolling and such. So if you have a question, comment about estate planning, about your will, about how you set things aside, questions like that, living wills, what those are, and reverse mortgages, all of that. We'll have your answers coming up with Tim Takacs right after this. Stay with us.